Testing in
Test,
3,
test, test.
2, 1.
Hey guys, welcome to the vlog again. A lot of you guys might be thinking, and actually have wrote to me,
David, we can't afford to buy a house. David, we can't get into real estate. It's so tough. It's impossible. I can't do it. You're driving me crazy. Where am I getting this money from? I can't afford $100, $200, $300, $400, $500,000. I don't have that money to put down.
I got a solution for you guys. There's this thing called a federal administration loan, which is actually known as an FHA loan. And an FHA loan is actually a loan for first-time home buyers. There is a checklist you have to go through in order to qualify for an FHA loan, and we're actually gonna go through it. But this is gonna show you how you can actually buy your first home for a lot less money than you think. According to Investopedia, you can actually borrow up to 96.5% on an FHA loan of the home value. That means you're only gonna put down around 3.5%. Now, another criteria that you might not know is that you need a minimum of a 580 credit score in order to qualify, which isn't obscene. And if your credit score drops anywhere between the 500 to 575 range, you can actually still get qualified for an FHA loan. You're only gonna need a 10% down payment. Now let's go through the requirements. Requirement number 1, FHA borrowers must be primary residents with social security numbers. Number 2, FHA loan borrowers must have at least 3.5% down. What's this 3.5% down? It's 3.5% of the home's value. Now, for example, if you're buying a home and looking at a home where you're trying to get a deal for $250,000, you'll need $8,750 as your down payment on the home. Another cool thing that people don't know is that when you get an FHA loan, there's no minimum or maximum income requirements. The only thing is that you have to have a work history of at least 2 years in the same line of job or for the same employer. There's also this thing called a debt to income ratio. Now with a debt to income ratio, you can only have 31% debt to income ratio when it comes down to your home payments, your taxes, and let's say you're buying a condo, you're buying in a different place, then there's this thing called a homeowners association fee, common charges, and so forth. Now you're asking, is 31% the only debt I'm supposed to have? What about my car payments? What about my cars? What about everything else that I have? Now you're allowed to have in total a 43% debt to income ratio, including your mortgage payment, your taxes, and your credit cards and all other expenses. Also, a lot of people seeing this might think,
Hey, if I only can put 3.5% down, I might just buy a $10 million property or a $10 million home.
now there is a cap. There's a cap on how expensive you can buy a home. Now with this loan, you can buy anywhere from 1 to 4 family, depending on what you want to do. Now, obviously, if you're buying a 4 family or a 3 family and you have income coming in because you have renters in every apartment bringing in money, your debt to income ratio actually lowers. The loan limits compared on a 1 family to compared on a 4 family will obviously differ. Also, it differs between if you're in a low income area or a high income area. So all the locations actually differ on how much money you can get from the bank for your FHA loan. Now, many of you will ask, is that all the expenses I have? And the answer to that is no. You actually are required to get a mortgage insurance. Now, the premium for mortgage insurance on a 30-year loan is typically 1.75% upfront. Plus, you will also have a 0.8 to 1.05% annually to pay. So great, you found a property, you're ready to move on, you get all your paperwork to the FHA lender, and you're like,
Where do we go from here?
now your FHA lender will get an FHA appraisal done on the property to make sure that it meets the requirements. In order to actually get the loan, you have to pass the appraisal. Now, that means the property can't be too distressed, because if it is, they're gonna tell you we're not satisfying your loan. Typically, if it's just a kitchen that's not the nicest or floors that aren't the nicest, they don't actually pull out from giving you the loan. If the property isn't the nicest or biggest, most renovated, that's not a problem. They just want to make sure that the property can't harm you, in a sense of that there's actually floors on the floor, that there's no holes in the wall. Things like that typically scares them away. Now, what's important is a lot of people don't actually know their credit scores. What I would advise you guys is actually to figure out what your credit score is and always keep updated on it. We will talk in different videos about how to build your credit and how to get a stronger credit, but thankfully this loan doesn't require you to have an 800 credit score. You can apply anywhere from the 500 range with a 10% down all the way to 3.5% down if you have over a 580 credit score. Now, you locate a property, you're ready to go. Now, you might ask, what documents do I need in order to give my lender? There's a few documents that you are required. Number one, you're gonna need a most recent pay stub showing year-to-end earnings. Two, most recent W-2 forms. Number three is you're gonna need 2 years of tax returns. Number four, you're gonna need bank statements from the last few months. Now you might ask, David, in today's days and times, is it worth it to actually go buy a house? Is it worth it to continue moving forward? Did I locate a property? Should I buy it? Should I purchase it? Well, money is practically free today. You can get approved as low as 2.9% on your interest rate. Now, in today's market, that is a steal. Now you might ask,
David, should I get an FHA loan? Should I move forward? Should I even buy a house, or should I continue renting?
now that's all up to you. The goal of this is actually to show you guys how you can actually buy a house for the super low down payment of 3.5%. Because a lot of people think it's impossible. One final thing, don't forget to smash that like button. Let's boost that algorithm up. Let's get you guys more videos. Comment below exactly what you want and subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned. Boys unboxing. Cheers.